I'm not good at making these videos. I'm just making it up as I go. Some people like to script shit. And some people like to do what I just did, which is buy time till you can't come up with it. And some people just like to be fucking beautiful. Hey, hi, ho, and howdy, everyone. My name is Sean Shook, and welcome yet again to another little bit of a, theory thingy do something. What? Anyway, actually, yeah, no, it is kind of one of those things again. I wish my ear didn't feel like it was plugging up again, like that last time when it was really, really bad. That was no good. Anyway, it's been a night. I'm actually recording this after the one that I just did previously, which is the... Which order are these coming out in? I mean, I'm talking about something that I talked about in an episode previous to the one I talked about in the other video. So I recorded another video that's another one like this, and we'll figure that shit out later. Point is, it's been a goddamn night. I've been doing this. I've been recording Pokemon as well. And I have never had such emotional whiplash as I had in that. Just from, ooh boy, I'm having the best time of my entire life to, well, I guess I'll just go die. It was the thing. Anyway, spoilers for that. Anyway, I am here to bestow upon you more of Shannon's random thoughts that he either did not put in a video or put in a long-ass fucking description or discussion-y part of a video and just wants to make a video on it on its own. It's a little bit more of the latter. Anyway, point is, earlier I was talking about something and I would like to talk about a different thing. Something I did talk about in a previous video. And that is, who the heckin' frick the frackin' doodah day is going to be showing up by the end of this volume, if anyone, thanks to the help of the gang officially calling for help. Try not to say the same word twice in the same sentence, because it sounds fucking repetitive. Anyway, yeah, so I just kind of wanted to go for some options. Obviously, you know, it's we have kind of the entire planet to work with. The problem with the entire planet is it's a big fucking planet. I guess we don't technically know how big Remnant actually is, but we know it takes like months to cross Anima. So it's a decent chunk of time, or at least months on foot. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. What? Anyway, point is, it's a kind of a big planet, and therefore it's gonna be a bit of a problem for everyone to get there right away, which is why a lot of people are assuming they're probably not going to. That being said, who the hell knows? That's a good look. Anyway, who the hell frickin' knows how long it would take for them to get there? Again, I have in the past suggested a couple in particular that I think are likely to show up. Let's name a couple that probably won't. As much as I would love to have Glinda, because I feel like one of the most important people to dealing with Ironwood in any way would probably be the person he kind of has always had that, like, clearly has a history with, and they, like, there's probably something going on there, if not currently, but definitely in the past. You know what I'm saying? I think it would make some sense. Oh, James. That being said, I don't know if she could. She is in Vale, and I don't believe she has a magical teleporter button, unlike a certain someone else who's near Vale. That being said, the problem is the last time we did see them while they were near Vale, they were on Patch. So, you know, it's not necessarily right next to Vale. It's off on an island. You know what I'm trying to say. Point is, I don't necessarily see Glinda showing up by the end of the volume, considering the time frame of a day that we have at this point. Yeah, I will also be mentioning that this is coming in from the perspective of Episode 6 is included in this. Not that it really is going to have much of a, point other than like, hey, spoilers for Episode 6. Salem has officially started the killing everyone. We're here now. The whale is taking its nap on top of Atlas. So, shit like that. Anyway, other than that, and that it is officially into the new day now, like the sun is up. So, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, point is, as much as I want to see Glinda, I don't imagine she shows up this early, or by the end of this volume. I'm not saying it's impossible. I don't know how fast they could get there in like a bullhead or something like that. Is that what those are called? The old ships that we used to use. Then they had the other ones that Atlas came down with, and then they had the mantas. And there's the shitty floating ships, which, while look really cool, I cannot imagine are particularly fast over in Mistral. Anyway, point is, we have that there. So I don't expect her to be there anytime soon. I kind of don't necessarily expect anything from Theodore either, as much as I would really fucking love to see Theodore, because I just want to see him on screen. I want the last of our Wizard of Oz's peoples to be on screen. I want to see Dorothy and all of her big, really energetic weirdo fucking glory. Theodore's a fucking weirdo, and I love him. Anyway, so I don't expect Theodore, I don't expect Rumpel, I don't expect necessarily Team Coffee or Team Sun or any other members of the Beacon Brigade. That being said, I would fucking love to have all of that. But like with Vale, I don't know if you could make it there in time. I'm basically counting out most anything that's below that halfway point on the planet. That being said, again, I don't fucking know how goddamn ships work. This is the worst theory video. It's not, because all of them that I've made are fucking terrible. It's not even really what it is. It's just me sitting here and just brainstorming and talking about shit because I like talking about RWBY. A theory video would involve script. You want to watch a theory video? Go watch fucking Phoenix Knight shit. He's really good at it. I am not. Shoutouts to him for making me look terrible. Or shoutouts to me for making him look really good. Shoutouts, regardless. Anyway, point is, yeah, so I don't see Glinda. I don't see any of the Vacuo folks. I don't expect any of those groups or the Crown. Not that the Crown would fucking show up. The Crown's really a thing anymore. Either way, I don't necessarily expect any of that. The other big one that I think is very unlikely that they would make it in time, but would very much try to get there, I do think, would be Gira and whatever the new White Fang is, the new Brotherhood that they've discussed and that they're very much intent on making. Since when we get the message sent out to the rest of the world, of course we get to see Sun and Neptune and Glinda and all that. Fucking Shopkeep. I don't even know why I'm making the rest of the video. Shopkeep's obviously the one who's going to fucking ascend down. He's the mystery fifth maiden. Anyway, point is, we see Ilya, which was great because I love Ilya. She's lovely. I really like her new outfit too. I want to see her actually wear it and use it and shit, other than just be incredibly adorable with little hugs and tiptoes. It was really cute. Anyway, point is, I like Ilya. Share me life. Anyway, point is, god damn it, focus. When we're talking to Ilya, or seeing Ilya, she immediately gets a call from Gira, who is already on shit. So I do not think it is without question in any way, shape, or form that he would immediately be jumping into like, hey, okay, shit's wrong. RWBY is with Blake. Atlas is fucked. That's clearly where they are. Blake is in trouble. Can we fix this? Again, and it's not like, this would be the first time that Gira and company have enlisted the help of their friends, their family, their fucking followers, the many people of Menagerie and all over the world, and stuff like that. It would not be the first time they've went and done that shit. That being said, again, the big problem is time. I do not know if they would be able to make it all the way from what is basically the furthest possible point on the planet from Atlas to Atlas. That being said, could really use your help, Pops. Anyway, could use your help. But yeah, so I don't necessarily see that happening, but that would be a very nice thing to have. And I would think that they're going to try even if they can't actually make it. So there's that. Some people that I do think are possible, because we're running out of people to talk about. But I think one of the biggest people that actually could do something would probably be Cordovan. Because, I mean, Argus is probably about the closest place to Atlas, the closest available thing. Obviously, that's asking for a lot, because while Cordovan did kind of pull her head out of her ass by the last time we saw her, I suspect she's still probably pretty big on Atlas and Ironwood. She's a pretty big fangirl of of James, so I have to suspect it would probably take a little bit of convincing, more than just, hey, Ironwood's fucking crazy. She'd probably have to see it. That being said, Caroline, anytime you want to be cool, I'm cool with that. You got a big fucking robot. Can you get all the way over there from the? Probably not. But that would be entertaining. Yeah. So that would be a cool thing to see. That being said, I don't know what the state of Argus is in general right now. Especially since don't know how the entire rest of the world is going to fare in regards to panic. We haven't really got to see how all of that is set in yet. We don't know how Grimm is, how the Grimm are acting all over the fucking world right now. So Argus could immediately be under attack from people freaking the hell out. The only people we do kind of have to see as a barometer of that is obviously you get to see Saf and Tara and little Adrian. But yeah, so who knows? That being said, again, I do think she is one of the most likely people that could show up soon, because, again, she's probably about the closest. If she and her folks would, I don't know. Again, they all literally work for James, so it's probably asking for a lot. And historically speaking, people have a problem with letting go of James. Anyway, so that's a thought. And obviously then there is the last one, the big one, the one I mainly want to talk about, the one I talked about before. I think the one who would be most likely and who has easily the most immediate quick access to that, and that's Raven. I mean, yeah, it would be Raven, because again, Raven is that one person on the planet that we know for a fact can literally be exactly where she needs to be, which is either with Yang or with Crow or both at the snap of her fingers, and by snap of fingers I mean swazoosh of her sword. That is the technical term. Swazoosh. Say it with me, kids. Swazoosh. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Anyway, point is, this piece of shit chair, I swear to God, I will eat your children. It's so broken. Anyway, thank you to my patrons. Because I would like to be able to sit in a fucking chair at some point, and this thing is not even a chair anymore. I lost 50 pounds for this shit, and you still broke. Anyway, point is, yeah, Raven has the ability to be anywhere, or be exactly where she needs to be in a heartbeat. So, obviously, she is a fairly notable person. The big questions come into play is, number one, did she even see the message? Which is obviously a possibility. We don't know exactly where she is right now. She's historically known to be in the middle of fucking nowhere sometimes. I did talk about this before in the Sirs and Madams area, I do believe, a little bit, where I got to kind of brainstorm and talk about it a little bit. And obviously, it did get raised to me, like, perhaps she went back. I hate the way I look without my hat. Perhaps the way, I almost said the way I look again. Perhaps she could be back with the tribe. That being said, I kind of get the feeling that that is not the case. I honestly don't know what the fate of the tribe is at this point, honestly. I don't suspect, like, Hazel and Tyrion, or Hazel and Watts, or Emerald. I mean, Cinder definitely didn't. She was too busy getting her ass handed to her. But I don't suspect necessarily that they went and killed the tribe, but I don't know that she necessarily was able to get linked back up with them. I mean, she no longer has her presumably no longer has any way back to them right away, so she would have to go and find them wherever they would be, since Vernal seemed to be the only other person. The portals that we seem to have are Vernal, Tai, Yang, and Crow, which makes sense because they're all of the closest people to her. I can't, as far as we know, there's no one else, and I can't really think of anyone that there would be, because I don't think she's, like, on good terms with Glinda or anything, but maybe, you know, something in the past or something. I don't fucking know. Which, again, if that was the case, could scoop up Glinda too. But anyway, the main reason I mention it is because we don't really know where she is necessarily, so we don't know that she necessarily heard it, and we don't know if she's within the realm of possibility of encountering Tai again. Because Tai very easily did see it, obviously. Easily? I meant to say obviously, and that you saw that easily. Anyway, the point is, Tai very much well did see it. I can't be allowed to say words. Anyway, Tai saw it. And we know that he clearly feels some emotions about it because that's the first time he gets to see his daughter in at least a year. And the last time it was just, she just left a fucking note and was gone. So this dude gets abandoned constantly, and it's really depressing. So I'm sure he's feeling great right now. So the thing is, there's, number one, did Raven see it? And even if she didn't, is she at least close enough to where Tai could go and talk to her and be like, hey, we need to go to Atlas right now. Shit's fucked. Our kids are there. We need, well, my kids, your kid, you know. You could try being a bit of a fucking decent person to Ruby too. Have you ever even met her? Do they ever actually meet? I mean, they clear, yeah, they had like a, they had their, yeah, she had the, you're just like your mother moment, and that's it. That's really all they had. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. Point is, which was a dick move. I miss Summer. This person that we've never actually managed to actually really legitimately see. She's very pretty and sounds very nice. Anyway, point is, so yeah, you gotta ask, did you see it, or can he at least get to her? Because if so, I have no doubt that he would immediately jump on the opportunity to go and try and protect his kids. So again, presumably, I would have to imagine he is also very much aware what is up in regards to, well, I mean, before this moment, obviously, she flat out told the world about Salem and the maidens and the relics. But before all of that, I suspect he was a part of Ozpin's group as well, considering the entire rest of Team Stark was. So you have to imagine that he also knew about it. And Stark was the OG Team RWBY, if you will. So yeah, I have no doubt that he would at least have some words with James and, you know, everything in the current situation. So I think he would very much want to be there, is my main point. So the question is, can he get to her, or does she know about it? And if so, is she in a state to actually go ahead and do that? Is she the kind of person to have learned from all of that bullshit, to have learned from that fuck you speech from her daughter, which is still, I cannot express this enough, probably my favorite fight in the series, even though not a single punch is thrown. It is so fucking good. Talk all the shit about Volume 5 you want, you're wrong. And you're wrong for that scene alone. It's so good. To be fair, I'm also very biased. Number one, because I like RWBY, and number two, because it's mom shit and parents stuff, and that is always just, I'm weak. Anyway, point is, yeah, is Raven in a position where she would be willing to stop being Raven, I guess, would be the way to put it. Would she be willing to actually go and take care of her fucking daughter and her brother? I'm personally in kind of the boat of, I would very much like to see that. I would be willing to try and redeem Raven. She's a dick. She's a murderous dick. But, you know, there is room for her to actually do the right thing. There is room for her to do the right thing, which is the one thing she's always run away from, the one thing she's the worst at, and that's fucking being strong and standing up for her daughter and her brother and her fucking, man and shit. Obviously not together now, but you know what I'm saying. So I don't know. I think it would be very, very, very cool to see her do that is the main thing I want to get there. So I would like to see that happen. Will we? I have no fucking clue. I'm in the camp of I would like to see that happen. Raven is one of those characters that, when you hear about like a character being redeemed or, getting their shit together, you can think of a couple different kind of versions of that. You can think of one that gets redeemed and joins the heroes and becomes their friend and, pulls themselves up from the depths and fights the good fight for the people. People like Ilya. You get something like that. Sometimes you get a redemption where it's like, hey, you stop them from doing all this bad shit. Maybe they pull a move to do the right thing here or there, or they just whole ass dip out. I was actually going to make a fucking example of that, but that is, it's like a 5-year-old spoiler, but it's still technically a spoiler. The point is, a certain person in Red versus Blue. Could have used that as an example for the first one too. Not the same person, but you know what I'm saying. You know who I'm talking about. Anyway. I fucking love that season. Anyway, it's good. Anyway. So you have people like that. And then you kind of have that last one. Or you have kind of this last one, which is kind of a subset of two, really. And that would, of course, be someone who redeems themselves, even if it means they're not gonna be around anymore. Either whether because they just finally learn the fault in their actions and they, and they just, yeah. They just learn and then die, or they actively go out of their way to, give up their life for someone else. And the main reason it was weird to break that down to subsections. It's basically the same thing. Anyway, point is, they fucking die as well. What I'm saying is, they go and it doesn't fucking work out, or at least, they give something up like that for someone else. While I don't have a problem with either of the first two, I don't see that for Raven. In the same way that I do not see James getting his shit together and like, hey, I'm gonna stick around and be a good guy forever. Woohoo, I was wrong, Oz. Let's do this. Like, at the very best, if James did get his shit together, it would be, well, I fucked up. This was wrong. It was bad. I kind of gotta go. I'm gonna try and take that bitch down with me. Something like that, I would not see him getting out of that in any way, shape, or form, but out in a blaze of glory. You just would have to hope that it would be for the right reason, for the sake of, getting his shit together. Anyway, the reason I mention it is because that is the way I've kind of always viewed it for Raven. Especially since it fits very, very well into her arc. Her as a person is all we have, like the main theme of her whole thing is in the same vein of Ironwood and who's his fuck? Leo. It's fear. She's a fucking coward. She relies purely on her power, not on her strength. Again, there's that whole fucking scene. It's amazing. Go watch it again. I know you already know what it says, but watch it anyway, because it's fucking great. The weird point that Yang's does, I will never necessarily... Like, it was a little overly dramatic. Everything else is fucking chef's kiss. Anyway, point is, yeah, I've always kind of viewed Raven that way. She's a coward. She perpetually just runs away. The only time she does fight, she actively just tries to cover her own ass. It's not to fight for other people. It's to fight for herself and fuck the rest of the world. It's always been, it's sacrifice. I'm not going to be your sacrifice. I know people are gonna fucking try and be like, hey, it's a Salem song. No, it isn't. Fuck you, people. It's not. Don't take that too seriously. But I can't view that as a Salem song. That doesn't make any sense as a Salem song. It makes sense as a Raven song. It also makes sense as a Raven song. That's why they put it out when Raven showed up. It matches her to a fucking T. I don't understand why you think it's not a Raven song. Whatever. Point. Wait, fucking Jeff and Casey roll up. It's actually a, it's a Junior song. It's a fucking Raven song. Anyway, point is, that has always been her thing. It's protecting herself first and foremost, and if it happens to line up with protecting you, sure. But if it doesn't, go fuck yourself. Even to the point where she has to lie and make shit up about, not even to someone else necessarily, but to herself about her actions in regarding to the original Spring Maiden and shit like that. Like, yeah, I killed her because it was mercy. No, you killed her because you wanted to be fucking tough. Fuck you. What is wrong with you? Anyway, that is the kind of person that she is. So I cannot think of I literally cannot think of a better closer to her arc, to her story, than acting in spite of that. Of acting to protect not just someone else instead of herself for once in her fucking life, to do the right goddamn thing, to put herself second, but to do it for her daughter. That makes sense to me. That makes perfect sense. Will that necessarily happen? I don't fucking know. But if there was any time to do it, this would really feel like a good point in time, since she should be able to probably figure out what's going on, have heard about it, and realize that Yang's in trouble. Again, obviously, this relies on her actually taking Yang's words to heart and taking presumably whatever Tai said, because I have to imagine he didn't just go and then turn around and walk away. He probably went, fuck happened. Something like that, Anyway, so assuming she did take something like that to heart, I think not only would that be the logical next step, I think it would be a very good closer to to Raven's situation. Obviously, this does raise some questions. Because while the Spring Maiden isn't necessarily important to the continuation of the show and the continuation of Salem and Ozpin's plans necessarily, she's an incredibly powerful weapon, something that you can really use to fuck some shit up. It's not one of those things where, you don't need her to open the vault anymore. The vault's been opened, they got the relic, it is out. Her purpose as a fucking magical key person, yeah, that is no longer a thing. She is a weapon at that point, and that's pretty much, as far as we know, the main thing that she needed to be. That being said, those are still powers. There's still one person in particular who's fucking losing her shit over trying to get the powers, and it's still pretty dangerous. So the question is, if that did happen, if Raven does go, what happens to the powers? Now, I think that's fairly, it makes me want to cry to actually think about it. But not Raven dying necessarily, but you know what I mean. Because I'm about to fucking explain it. Presumably, if that worked out that way, if she's going to die protecting Yang, if it goes that kind of logical follow through to the end of her arc, and it did go that way, and she pulled her shit together, and she was willing to actually lay down her life and protect someone else for once, and that someone else was the person she needed to protect most of all, the person she abandoned, the person she gave everyone gets one bullshit. She would be thinking about Yang, presumably, unless Cinder is staring her down in the face and poking her eyes out or something. She's probably... It's a lovely thought. Fucking... It's a fucking gremlin, that girl, I swear. I need to watch that fucking episode again. Six so good. Anyway, point is, presumably then, that power would go to Yang. I can't imagine anyone else on the planet she would think of other than Yang, not even including the fact that she would probably be dying for Yang or something like that. Like, Vernal's not around anymore. Like, who else is she gonna think of? Ty? Ty's a fucking dude. That's not gonna work. Crow? He's a fucking dude. That's not gonna work. He's gonna think of RWBY? She's not gonna fucking think of RWBY. Summer's not around. As far as we know. Yeah, so, like, I don't know. It's one of those things I think that would make a lot of sense for it to be how the story goes, and if it did go that way, then does it mean Yang ends up with the Spring Maiden powers? That would be kind of fucking bananas. Number one, while it does add to Yang's strength a fucking whole lot, or to her power, shall I say, for the sake of discussion and keeping on theme, aside from Cinder herself, it shouldn't really even paint a target on her back any more than usual. Like, I mean, any more than like, oh, well, they just got stronger now, so that's a problem. But, like, again, that is no longer the fucking key. It doesn't help in that way anymore. So, I don't know. Obviously, there are different opinions and emotions on the idea of any or all of the RWBY girls getting the maiden powers by the end of the day. Can't say the end of the day because the rest of this volume takes over a day. You know what I'm saying? By the end of the series. But I've always been one person who's like, I'm totally down with that. Like, I don't have a problem with that. Like, that, if they did do that, I mean, like, it could be obvious after a point, like, well, that's the way we're going, but like, that's not stupid to me or anything like that. Like, oh, it makes sense. It kind of fits up thematically. I respect it because, you know, not everyone paid attention to themes, but that would make sense. That, okay. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know. So people have their opinions. Not everyone's on board with it. I personally would not have a problem with it, and especially if it went down all that way, I think that would make a lot of sense, and I think it would be totally fine and fair. So I don't know. I just basically wanted to talk about fucking Raven getting her shit together and not being an asshole, because I want Raven to not be an asshole, because Raven's pretty cool. But God, she sucks. Like, yeah, she's kind of a dick. So yeah, I'm curious to see what you guys think. If you guys have any ideas of why that's a terrible idea, or why that's a great idea, or why you just really like fish and chips. I don't fucking know. They're pretty all right. You know, I'm not gonna judge you for that. Your opinions are your opinions. I like them too, man. I ain't had them in a minute, but they're pretty fucking good. So yeah. That was mainly what I want to talk about. This is officially the longest one of these. I can't call them theory videos, and I'm gonna anyway. Yeah, fuck you. I'm gonna do it anyway. But it is really more just a random discussion thing about a topic that I like, and I want to talk about RWBY more. Fucking sue me. It's my favorite series. Let me have this. Don't actually do that, please. Shannon, no like. Yeah, I want to talk about Yang and Raven and Crow and Tyrion and Tyrion? Tyrion? Anyway. Anyway, so that's where I am right now. Again, I also did another video. It's about Emerald. So I don't know which of these are going to come out first, but anyway, it'll be one of those. The other one's it's more fucking hinging on spoilers for the next, for episode 6. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Either way, I'm going to try and put these out, and we're going to have a good time with them, just because I want to talk about RWBY more. Yeah. And again, I'm going to do what I can to try and think of things that I could possibly talk about, because I have no idea what I could talk about while we're on break. I can't imagine. Couldn't imagine. I'm going to do the same fucking bit in this video, too. I can't possibly fathom what it is that we could fucking be talking about. I don't think there's anything in RWBY that we have not talked about yet that we could still talk about. I was about to point to my dick. It's weird because of the train of thought, how it went. It went, I stared down. Huh, my lap. Huh, my dick. Huh, RWBY waifu chart. But I'll just say the dick part. Like tier list to some. I've talked about that before. I think it would be fun. Anyway, point is, I don't fucking know what's happening. It's weird. This is just for me to talk about. I hope you guys had a good time. If you did, give us some love. If you didn't, I don't fucking care. No, I do. I do. I want everyone to have a good time and have fun with it. Do I expect you to? Fuck no. I will catch you guys next time for something else. I don't know what the hell it'll be. Again, depending on what order these come out in. But anyway, until then, I will see you guys later. Toodles, doodles, and lemons, everyone. I will catch you all next week for the reaction to episode 6, and then I can record episode 7, get there, and then the fucking break is gonna happen, and considering where 6 left off, fuck. Do I throw... I'll throw one random extra theory. It doesn't really hinge on episode... Yeah, it doesn't really hinge on episode 6 in any way, shape, or form, because it's all covered in episode 5. Because, okay, I'm going to throw one extra theory here at the very end. It's not to be taken seriously, except it is, but it isn't. We're wondering, like, what's the big cliffhanger that we leave us off on before we go to break? The Aesops find Penny. And she fucking kills him. Just fuck, like, next time we see her fucking get up, and she just fucking starts running through motherfuckers. It's not gonna happen. But if it happens, I'm going to need you to build a statue in my honor and give me 50,000 American dollars. Or something. I don't fucking know. Anyway, I'll catch you guys next time for more. Toodles, and lemons, everyone. I do actually legitimately think that's a possibility. It would be fucked up and crazy, but I don't actually... Like, it's very limited. It's very limited. It's the fucking theory that I have from fucking Steins Gate Zero right now. It's that level of, like, no. But maybe. I'll catch you guys next time. These are fun. I'm sure they're terrible to watch, though.